So going on to chapter 6, verse 10, in English it says, "It shall be that when Hashem your God brings you to the land that Hashem swore to your forefathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give you great and good cities that you did not build, houses filled with every good thing that you did not fill, chiseled cisterns that you did not chisel, orchards and olive trees that you did not plant." So in Hebrew it says, "V'haya kiviyacha Adonai Elohecha el haaretz asher tzibah la'avotecha la'Avraham liYitzchak u'liYaakov latet lach arim godolot v'tovot asher lo vanita." So again, we have to look at the words used, and it says something very interesting. At the start it says, "V'haya kiviyacha Adonai Elohecha," and it shall be that when He, Hashem, God, your God, brings you El Haaretz, to the land, Asher Nishba. Nishba is coming from the root of the word for an oath, that Hashem, God, swore an oath to Avraham, and then it passed over to Yitzchak after, and then it passed to Yaakov after, and then to the sons of Yaakov after that. Of course, what we say, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. So this oath was passed from one to another, that Hashem would bring them, He would bring them, and that the land would be theirs through Him. What does that mean? In Eretz Canaan, before Am Yisrael, the Jewish people, came inside Eretz Canaan, there were 7 different types of peoples living there. And obviously we didn't go there to live with these people. We went there to take their place, because the land, figuratively speaking, vomited them out because of their ways. So how did the people leave? How were the Jewish people able to conquer the land, to take the land, to possess the land, to settle in the land, to occupy the land, to be there, to live there? We know that obviously there would be war and fighting, and these wars would be won by God. He would win. He would fight the war for you, and He will win the war for you. And the peoples who were there before, if they didn't want to be in these wars, then they would leave. So it says in this verse, "Arim godolot v'tovot asher lo banita," cities that are basically big and good. Godolot v'tovot asher lo banita. These cities that the Jewish people would come to possess were like a host of prizes that were awaiting the Jewish people, when they came to take possession of their land, the land that had been given to them by God, by Hashem. Moving on a little bit to, again, we're staying in chapter 6, and now we are moving on to verse 18. It says, in English, "You shall do what is fair and good in the eyes of Hashem," in the eyes of God, "so that it will be good for you, and you shall come and possess the good land that Hashem swore to your forefathers, to thrust away all your enemies from before you, as Hashem spoke." So in Hebrew it says, "Va'asita hayashar va'atov be'enei Adonai lama'an yitav lach uvata vayarashta et haaretz hatova asher nishba Adonai Elohecha Lahadof et kol oivecha mipanecha ka'asher diber Adonai. So it says something very interesting here, and what a lot of people forget. It says, you shall do what is fair and good in the eyes of Hashem, so that it will be good for you. A lot of times people do what they think is fair and good in their eyes. But it says here that we must do what is fair and good in God's eyes, not in our eyes, in His eyes. How do we know what's good in His eyes, what's fair in His eyes? He's told us in the Torah what's fair and good. So what He has told us, what we've been learning through Moshe for 40 years in the desert, these are the things that need to be done. These are the things that are fair and good. And if we do these things, then it will be good for us, as we will be doing the will of God, so to speak. He will reward us, and all of the promises that He made, He will do. The next relevant passage is, again, chapter 6, verse 22, but we need to start on 21 to put it 22 in context. So 21 says, you shall say to your child, we were slaves to Paro in Egypt, and Hashem took us out of Egypt with a strong hand. Hashem placed signs and wonders great and harmful against Egypt, the 10 plagues, against Paro and against his entire household before our eyes. And here is that's actually verse 23. And he, God, took us out of there in order to give us the land, Eretz Canaan, that He swore to our forefathers, who are Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So these last verses are stating that we were in Egypt for a period of time until it was deemed that we were worthy, that the punishment had been done and we could be released from this servitude that we were suffering in Egypt. And Hashem brought us out of Egypt, but He didn't just bring us out of Egypt just to wander around and to live in the desert. He brought us out of Egypt in order for us to live in the land that He had pre-designated to and swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So He took us out of Egypt and led us the way to go to come and enter into Eretz Canaan, which when we would enter it would be Eretz Yisrael. This was the intention, and this is what was supposed to have happened. And this is eventually what happened. We came in, as we came in, we inherited the land, and then we took possession of it, all in accordance with the words and the decrees that are given in the Torah. As I have explained to you, relevant words that express these ideas, these things were done.